Check out the links in my description for more information, for more resources. Check out the podcast. Check out the Facebook groups. Just check out the links. There's a lot of great stuff there. Comment, rate, subscribe, share, like, dislike, whatever you want to do. This is my Janemba Mill Rejuvenated deck. 1 copy of the leader. 4 Shenron Figure of Majesty. 4 Uppbeat. 4 Vegeta Ready Rumble. 4 Gohan Baby's Minion. 4 Vegeta the Interceptor. 4 Pycon Controlling Force. 4 Goku Overflowing Spirit. 4 Kibito Kai's Attendant. 4 Chill's Army Reinforcement. 4 Dirty Burst. 4 Super Pycon True Mastery. 4 Zeno Cosmic Unison. 4 Raditz Giant Force. 4 Majin Buu Agent Assault of Agent of Destruction. And 4 Gotenks Absolute Innocence. So we have the Rejuvenate ability from Pycon, which will let us gain life. And we will obviously take advantage of that by gaining life. That means we stay in the game longer. If we stay in the game longer, that means we can win through milling our opponent. So obviously, we're going to take advantage of that. So we're going to recycle using Overflowing Spirit Goku to recycle the Unison so we can keep gaining life, so we can keep staying in the game. As well as we got the Kibito Kai to help us bounce the Overflowing Spirit, as well as bounce our Pycon so we can reuse its ability to negate an attack and bounce the battle card to the opponent's hand. So like that, recycle Pycon. Obviously, recycle Gohan Baby's Minion. Recycle Vegeta Ready to Rumble. So like our little floodgate gates. This will help us control the board. Make our opponent to deal us any damage. So that way we can keep swinging and milling. Then of course we got Vegeta. He's 20k with dual attack, and he has the effect that when you play him, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards and place them at the bottom of your opponent's deck. That type of effect is obviously a good effect in general, especially against certain decks, but in a mill deck, it's not the best thing because you typically, the idea is to mill your opponent. You don't want to put cards back in the deck, but depending on the situation, gotta do what you gotta do. So at least this will help us clear our opponent's board, and we can attack with it twice. Then the other thing we can do is obviously we can bounce it back with Kibito Kai, so we can play it again, clear 2 more cards, so we could wipe out a board using Kibito Kai and Vegeta, as well as we can get obviously multiple attacks because he's a dual attacker. So bounce him back to hand, playing him, attack, bounce him back to hand, play him, attack. So you can take advantage of that. So the more Kibito Kais we have in play, and the more energy you have to play him, the more attacks you can get. Out of Vegeta, we have Abuni. Obviously, this will help us, be able to go wide because we make 4 tokens that we can swing with. 3 tokens that we can swing with, as well as this. Also, we use the tokens to because they have combo power, so we can use them defensively. So we can use Kibito Kai. Abuni offensively as well as defensively. So that's the good thing about being able to play Abuni, is you can use the tokens as combo power. I think you'll obviously use them as attackers and bounce them back with Kibito Kai, so you can keep making an army of attackers or just an army of combo power. Of course, we have Shenron Figure Majesty to help us draw a card. With its, because Sparking 5 will draw a card at untapped 2 energy, so we can always keep energy up. But it also has the ability to bring back at 2 costs or less, so we can bring back our Kibito Kai if we need it, or if we need the Pycon, or if we need the Overflowing Spirit Goku, in order to bounce it back with the Kibito Kai, so we can, use them. So it's a way of recycling stuff. Originally had a blocker in here, but I took it out so that I can put a Booney instead, because a Booney, does give you the deck other options, these offensive capabilities. So there's the synergy with those things. Obviously, chills freeze army, free negate, can again attack, block, make a token that can block an attack. When we have 5 or less life, we could take a life in order to play for free. Dirty Burst, of course. So we have Dirty Burst. Obviously, you can use it to negate an attack for 1 energy, or pay 2 energy, draw a card, and then your opponent can't attack with battle cards with 7 costs or higher, which comes in handy against decks that play out some problematic battle cards that can really hurt you if they get the chance to swing. So that's what that's for. So it's your Floodgate Negate. And then we have, on top of your other Floodgate Negates. And then we have, of course, Icon with the Rejuvenated effect, where once per turn you remove 5 markers from this unison, take a card from under this card, place it to the dropper, and take the top card of your deck and put it into your life. And then, we have the ability to plus 2 markers on it by looking at the top 5 cards of our deck and send a blue card from the top of our deck to the drop. All I ever do is just plus 2 and just shuffle my deck. I don't want to send anything to my drop because I'm not trying to essentially mill myself, right? But it does have the second +0 active main, where you draw a card, then you may place up to 1 card from your hand under this card. So it's a way of guaranteeing that you can get a card under him for his Rejuvenated effect. And that's all we really do with him. We want to make sure that he has at least 6 markers, because when you remove 5, I want him to stay on the field. Zeno, since I can't have 5 costs or higher, because the lead is permanent, I can only have 4 costs or less. Zeno Cosmic Unison is our board wipe, or at least our Unison board wipe. Alright. Because it has the ability to choose all cards in battle area, ignore and bury, and shuffle them to the bottom of the player's deck. Again, that goes against the whole milling strategy, but if your opponent has a really problematic board that you have to deal with, then you do what you gotta do. Obviously, you'll play this for 5 energy. That way it has 5 markers, remove 5 for its effect. Could play it to use it to, do this +2 ability ramp, because we do have a mono blue leader, but that's not what we use them for. And then we have Redis Giant Force. This is going to be one of our main blockers, workhorse, because it's going to block. It has the blocker skill, so we can block with it. Obviously, it has the auto that when you activate the auto skill, you restand it, so that we can block with it again, so you get the ability to potentially block with it twice. +0 active main ability to draw a card and switch this card to active mode at the end of your turn, which allows us to be able to use it to apply pressure to attack our opponent, leader or battle cards, depending on what strategy we want to play. In case we want to at least knock off a couple life points from our opponent, so that way we can win in time by them having less life than us, or mill them out, one of the 2 possible win cons, right? So that's what we mainly do this card. And then we have Boo, Unison, Double Strike Blocker, Active Mains, +0 active main, draw a card. At the start of your opponent's turn, you switch this to active mode and untap 1 of your blue energy if your leader is blue, which it is. So this will help us keep energy up, especially this, along with Shenron Figure Majesty, will let us draw 2 cards a turn and untap 3 energy a turn. So, if we tap our energy, this will let us untap up to 3 energy. So we can use it to defend ourselves with, obviously, to play stuff like Baby's Minion or a Dirty Burst, along with like a Python or something like that type of play. You get the idea. And then this has the auto -1 auto. When your opponent attacks with a battle card, -1 card marker from this. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the bottom of the deck. This bottom deck effects is good in general, but in a middle deck it's not the best thing. But do what we can do, what we got, right? Go 10 steps of unison, dual attack, double blocker, 20k, -2 to draw 2 cards, or -3. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle card, ignore and bury it, and place them at the bottom of your opponent's deck. Yeah, barrier hate. That goes along with our Cosmic Zeno. So we have different cards in the deck that ignores barrier. So that's always good. And of course, the leader when it attacks, you draw a card. Your opponent mills 2 cards. When you have 4 less life, you may choose up to 2 of your energy and switch them to active mode. So you could take advantage of that, especially if you combine it with Shenron Figure Majesty and Module Unison. So you could potentially untap 5 energy. And on the weakened side, when you attack, you draw a card. Your opponent mills 2 cards, and then when this card is attacked, you may place 1 blue card from your hand to the drop area if you do negate the attack and then negate the skill for the game. So at least you have a chance. If you run out of negates or you're tapped out and can't play no negates, you can just pitch a card and negate attack and survive that turn so that you can swing at your opponent and go for game. Especially the fact that we rejuvenate, you can take advantage of that.